All right. This is just this is going to be like a random rant video or discussion of what's been going on literally non-sports worthy. I mean, the draft was interesting watching it virtually and not having, the actual people in New York. But other than that, I mean, teams made some picks, all that good stuff. Uh but the big thing I kind of want to get more into. I know some of you watched the video before about the newest addition to the Disney family on Leslie Headley, whatever the fuck her name is. Who cares? Former assistant of Harvey Weinstein. It like this chick. She makes no sense. Like they had an interview with her. And a guy asked her, he's like, "What's your favorite Star Wars movie?" And she's like, "I don't have a favorite Star Wars movie. I just like Star Wars." And it's like, what? If you ask anybody who's watched Star Wars, old or Disney, I'll just put it that way, then yeah, people are gonna go, well, New Hope, Return of the Jedi, you know, episode 1 or episode 2, episode 3, whatever. You're not gonna say, "Oh, I just like Star Wars. I don't like I don't just like one movie. I like Star Wars." You just don't do that. So she's pretty much got herself in hot water, which Twitter's also they're trying to get rid of all her tweet, like whatever, who cares? She needs to be fired from Disney. This is huge. Like, just mind you, she worked with Harvey Weinstein during the whole when he was, hashtagging Me Too, and you know what I'm saying? So she was there. So Disney's sleeping with the enemy right now, which is whatever. That's crazy. And then, then you hear Kathleen Kennedy and her plan of she didn't want how she killed the first plan for um Star Wars or land or whatever you want to call it. What was it supposed to be? The cool thing is that it was supposed to start right where I'm gonna forget Star Tours was, and then you were supposed to walk in. It was supposed to be Tatooine, and you could go into the cantina and have the cantina band. So it's gonna be something that every Star Wars person like myself would have been like very excited for. She killed that idea, and guess what we got? We got Galaxy's fucking expensive ass. Food doesn't look great. Merchandise is overpriced. Edge Park. Thank you. But not really. I mean, she's just, she's got what? I think like another year on her contract and then it's over. But it's fucking crazy. Like I don't understand what the fuck is going on in the world right now. I mean, I get everybody's quarantined, we're losing our fucking minds, but these are you don't do these things. You don't just because you want an all female Star Wars. God, why? So what do? You sleep in bed with the enemy and you go, I'm gonna hire this chick who used to work for Harvey Weinstein because why? She knows everything about, human whatever. Uh, it's just, fuck. It's fucking horrible. It's fucking horrible for every Star Wars diehard fan. I mean, I'm a fan. I'm not like a diehard fan. I mean, yeah, you could probably see my hat in the background. Yeah, I do have a Star Wars hat, but I mean, I'm not like more in depth with the story like I am with Star Trek. You can ask me anything about Star Trek, and I can go inside and out pretty well. Uh, eh, but okay, so I'm gonna tap on. I'm gonna switch gears because this has to be said on a sports level. So we've had the draft. The draft has happened. We've had 3 days of virtual reality. I mean, this was crazy. I watched pretty much the whole entire draft, especially the first round, because I wanted to see what was going to happen. And things happened, and teams got picks, and a lot of fucking weird picks. Like, I don't understand why the Packers would take a quarterback if they don't really rely on Aaron badass. He's got a badass arm, Rodgers, but whatever. Um, so now that these players have a home, here's the big thing. Still under quarantine. You can't move to that state just yet. They're sending playbooks out via whatever, either, UPS or FedEx, whatever, so they can get accumulated with their playbooks. They're having, I think it's either no contact right now with coaches and players. I think. I'm not for sure. I cannot remember. Usually I'm on top of this because why? NFL Network would be on my TV around the clock right now, but it's not because there's no sports, which is fucking which is crazy. So now they're having the discussion of, if this if the season happens this year, what it's going to look like. If they're going to have fans, how many fans? Are they going to have 50% of the capacity? Are they going to have like 50% of the home crowd available on one end, sitting 6 feet apart with their family, going, or and have the opposing team, their player, their fans come in and they sit on the opposite side of the. I don't know. And then the other big issue is if the season does happen and the Super Bowl does happen, how's that going to look like at the end with the trophy ceremony? Because that's a lot of people down there. You got to think about it. You've got camera crews from everywhere, like ESPN, Fox, like NFL Network. Every affiliate, every sports affiliate is down there. Even radio. And then you've got players, coaches, staff. And then you've got their family. And then you've got the owners, their families, and you've got it's huge. So that's the big question on what that's going to look like, or if they're going to have a trophy ceremony, if they're just going to go, okay, game's over, y'all just go to your locker rooms, and we'll just bring in the Lombardi there. I don't know. So this is going to be interesting on if we have a football season. If not, then we all have to wait until 2021, which will be very different because if that happens, then two drafts would have happened. So that means all these new draft players. That means all these new draft players that just got drafted would seriously have to sit out an entire year. Oh, would have to sit out an entire year and then watch a new form of players get drafted if there's a college football season. If there's not, that's going to be very interesting on how everything goes down. This is like all uncharted. This is all uncharted territory. This is all uncharted waters. This is crazy. So there's that. But then there's the sports aspect. Yes, we shut down sports. So that means, everything is shut down. But you have to also think about it. You technically didn't have to shut down sports in its entirety. There are still sports that could be played without people. When I mean people, I mean people in the stands. I mean, technically, you still could have had tennis because that's more than 6 feet. All you'd have to do is just eliminate the handshake with the players and the judge above and just play the game. You don't really have to have a ball person. I mean, unless you really need to, but that's also 6 feet of separation. So you technically could have had tennis without fans. That could have continued. And then you've got like online gaming. You've got people that game. That's becoming like a big thing. And the cool thing is isolation. Guess what? You can turn on a webcam, you can have your team, and you can still have a tournament. I don't understand that. You also have like billiards. You can still do that. You can still play fucking darts, bowling. You can still do that. You're literally 6 feet apart. I mean, there's still some sports you can do. I just don't understand why we had to shut it all the way down, but whatever. Maybe I'm one of those people that are those skeptics of, oh, you want to kill everybody with Corona because you want sports. I guess I'm selfish. Or I'm just trying to think of an alternative of, I don't know, trying to get some life back into life into the world. It's kind of sad when everybody gets excited for one thing that really nobody gets excited for, which is the NFL draft. Because why? It was sports. We got to talk 3 days worth of sports. And then the best thing ever happened was they decided they were going to drop the Michael Jordan freaking documentary, The Last Dance. And so far we're into 4 chapters, and it's the best shit ever because why? It's sports. We're actually able to talk about it. And plus we're able to talk about Michael Jordan, the greatest player of all time, in my book. I mean, he's right there, and then LeBron's right. I mean, then you got Kobe right there, and then LeBron's right there for me. Those are my top three. Hate me or like me, I don't give a shit. Come at me. But there's that aspect. We should have something. I mean, shit, I'll watch ping pong on television for crying out loud. If they decided that's more than 6 feet. That is more than 6 feet. like it, it's just a weird, crazy time, And then my state of Arizona, they decided to extend quarantine until May 15th. Actually, no, May 12th, which kind of sucks because I was kind of hoping we'd have this done by May 1st where we could slowly open up restaurants and slowly open up barbershops. Because the reason why I'm wearing a hat is because I need a haircut. I need a haircut bad. It's bad. But, uh, but no, our governor, he decided he's gonna keep doing what he's doing, extend it a little bit longer. So, gotta ride it out a little bit longer. Longer than most. I mean, most people that I've heard, it's extended through the month of May, and it's like, damn. It's like, as long as I can barbecue on the 4th of July, I'll be okay with that. I mean, it's the saddest thing is I just miss interaction with, like, guests in restaurants, people hearing their opinions and hearing their compliments or, God, even their complaints. I even miss that. I'm I want to say it as a chef. I miss those. I miss those complaints. I miss those weird ass orders that come in and you just look and you go, "What the fuck?" I miss those. So I know everybody's hurting. We're hurting too we're hurting too as workers that are still able to work because it's the interaction. It's that human to human interact. I never thought I'd miss that, but I do miss that shit. It's craziness. It's craziness. But oh, yeah, before I even decide to end this video and edit, Mr. Jonathan Frakes, he decided he was going to come after Star Trek fans in regards to Picard. And haters are going to hate. Pretty much that's pretty much how he broke it down. Haters are going to hate. Look, bro, I'm not going to hate on you because your episode with you and Troy and Picard, that was a great episode. That was the only good episode out of that 10 episode shit show you want to call Picard. Yeah, you directed a couple episodes. Yeah, you directed one of the episodes where my jaw literally was on the fucking floor the whole time because I'm like, I cannot believe we're going this route. That episode in particular was where they all had to go in disguise, and 7 and 9, we all found out kind of 7 and 9 was banging that hot chick in that bar or whatever. And then you see at the end, 7 and 9 guns blazing through the fucking tunnel, and we all know she survives because she made it through the end of the season. But bro, you're gonna come at lifelong Trekkies like myself and say we're the problem. Motherfucker, I'm not the problem. Your writing staff is the motherfucking problem. This bullshit you got running on Discovery is a motherfucking problem. I had, like everybody else, I had high hopes for when the announcement for Star Trek Picard came out. I was like, oh shit, this is okay. Patrick Stewart's coming back. He only said he would come back if, the script was right, the scene was right, you know what I mean? So I was like, all right, I'll buckle up. It's on CBS All Access. I was like, all right, I'll fork it out. I'll get it because it's Sir Patrick Stewart. He's bringing back Jean-Luc Picard. And then you kind of find out a little bit that the game has changed, that everybody's kind of gone their own separate ways. So it wasn't going to be the same game as everybody thought it was, like TNG. And I was like, okay, I can roll with that. And then you slowly start, and then they got really kind of like really hush about it. And then all the little leaks started coming out, which I didn't read. I didn't pay attention because I was like, you know what? I'm going to go in there with an open mind. I'm not going to read anything and kind of get like something in my brain go, oh my God. And then the first episode dropped. It was kind of like watching, a typical first episode, not really, of Star Trek, where you get to know the players, get to know the character, but we all knew it was Jean-Luc. So pretty much right off the bat, myself, I'm only going to speak for myself. I was really hoping within the first episode that we would had, the flashback, which was okay, nostalgic. We're on the Enterprise, we're in 10 forward, we're playing poker with Data. And then he wakes up from his dream and he's at the chateau. I would have enjoyed seeing it happen. 14 years. So by the time we get to this, going into season 2, like I would have loved to have seen how all this shit happened. But instead, we had to kind of slam it into one episode on. Here, this is what really happened with the synthetics, and then this is why Picard had to do what he had to do, and this is why the Romulans fucking hate him, and it's like, what the fuck, okay. Like, no. Like, what they should have done from episode 1, god damn it, is they should have started 14 years when this whole thing happened. Pretty much, not after Nemesis, but, you give it that 20-year kind of... But you're at that 14, you're at that mark. You're at that where the synthetics are getting ready to get fucked up by, the Tal Shiar and all that shit. We find out who the Tal Shiar are. We introduce them. We get to know them. So we get to know that crazy bitch sister and that weird fucking brother. Whatever. So we get to know them. And then we get to know the whole, like, why they did the whole circle thing, and all these bitches lost their fucking minds, smashing their fucking heads with rocks and all this shit, and phasers to the head and shit. Whatever. That would have been cool. The other fucking thing would have been awesome is if, holy shit, what would have happened if we would have saw Icheb when he was on the mission and he actually got captured by them. That would have been cool. That would have been a really good way to incorporate, to bring in 7. But no. As Picard, still running around in his starship with Rafi, that would have been pretty cool to see how that relationship formed and how she became, the bitch called how she calls him JL. Like that would have been interesting on how to see why she calls him JL. Because honestly, I think she was just like way too fucking high to remember to say John Luke, so she was like, I'm just gonna say JL. But that would have been awesome to see how all of this boiled up, and then have the season finale would have been the destruction of Mars. Watching it would have been an epic 2 hours. 2 hours. They should have done it 2 hours. It would have been an epic 2 hours of just watching Picard lose his shit. Mars is destructing. We get to see everything firsthand. Synthetics. The Talsiyar sends the code. Then you watch the synthetics lose their shit, and they just start killing everybody. And then the word gets out to Starfleet, and then you see Starfleet coming in and shit, and they're like, "Oh my god, we gotta get the fuck out of here." And Picard's like, "Nope, nope, nope." And they're like, then you got that one admiral, I can't even remember her name, who cusses a lot, Admiral Potty Mouth. We come in and say some fucked up shit, and Picard would be like, "You know what, bitch? I'm out. Fuck you." And you're like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out." And then it's like, Romulans are like, "What the fuck?" And then we got the destruction of Mars. And then we have that to be the first part. And then part 2 would be the aftermath, of, okay, now what do we do? And then you see that one episode, which would have fucking tied in, of, when it was a past episode. Fuck, I can't even remember the title because that's how shitty this show was. But it was when Picard. It was 14 years in the past when everything was going down, and how he walked over to Rafi and he pretty much told him, I told him the plan. They didn't fall for it, so I retired. That would have tied in, and that would have started off part 2 of the 2-hour season finale of Picard episode, season 1. And then that would have started off going, all right, boom. Oh shit, he's retired. And then you see this month, and then you see him go to the chateau. And then we could have started all this nonsense with fucking Daj and Soji and the synthetics and Data and oh god, because then you could have incorporated, which still kind of pisses me off. This is my only real big fucking problem with how they deactivated Data. My big problem is I don't think it should have been Picard to pull the plug. Honestly, I think it should have been Geordi to pull the plug. You know what I mean? Geordi should have fucking been there one way or the other. It would have been cool if, you saw, Riker on board his ship, and then in the background, you see Geordi kind of go, and you're like, oh shit, beam him aboard, beam him down. That would have been awesome. And then he would have been like, what's going on? And then be like, well, Captain's dying. We have a synthetic body. We want you to do this. Boom, boom, boom. Geordi would have figured out the semantics of like fucking the essence of date and all that shit. And then it would have been more heartfelt. I would have cried so much harder. I did tear up a little bit, but I would have cried so much harder if it was Geordi pulling the strings, dude, to just let Data go. Because you got that bromance. They've had that bromance for God. If you think about it, it's over like 30 plus years, man. It's like bromance, dude. Like, what pisses me off and what also pisses me off about that season finale was the fact that you had John Luke die in Rafi's arms, and they didn't even think, they didn't motherfucking think to go, holy shit, hey, Riker's still kind of around. We should fucking, I don't know, communicate to him, hey, we need to beam you aboard the surface because this is not good. This is a turn for the worse. That would have been, fuck, that would have been heart wrenching because like Riker would have beamed down there on the surface, and he looked at fucking John Luke, and he'd be like, "Hey, Admiral," he'd be like, and you hear fucking John Luke go, "Hey, number one, dude," and then he just dies. It'd be like, "Oh fuck, But no, we got some stupid shit. And then we're going to get more stupid shit for season 2. Like, I'm sorry. My whole little theory, what I just said, I don't even know how many minutes ago, that would have been a perfect season for season 1 of Star Trek Picard. I just rewrote the first season of Star Trek Picard because why? I'm in quarantine. I got nothing better to do but sit there and think and then rewatch this stupid shit and go, you know what? If I was going to do this, if they would have like been like, hey, chef, we want you to write, we want you to come up with a concept of Star Trek Picard. And I'd be like, all right, well, what's the thing? Well, 14 years ago, I'd be like, all right, we're going to start off with that because everybody's going to want to know. Oh, shit, synthetics. Lost their shit. Okay. Well, Data's dead, but what the fuck? People would want to know. That would be very curious. And then, of course, I would have dove a little bit more deeper into the Borg series. Like, fuck, dude. That itself could have been its own storyline, its own spin off on how the Borg have literally gone defeated. Now, my theory. My theory on that is, I mean, honestly, like it's got to do. It has to always. It always comes back to Voyager with me because at the what was it? The series finale. Series finale. They had that virus that Admiral Janeway took back with her to the past and gave it to Janeway on board Voyager to implant in the freaking Borg cube, which destructed him. Now, you fast forward what? God, okay, so I'm really unless it's food measurements, I'm bad at math. So so we got TNG, so we got 12. It's like he said 20 years. So it's been 20 years since Data died. So in between that, so 14, whatever. Many more years later, you've got the Borg who are kind of still infected, still on the Borg cubes around. And then what gets me, it's like, okay, so Unimatrix Zero. That, like, I get it on Voyager because I'm rewatching Unimatrix Zero Part 1 and 2. And I know it got destroyed. I know it got destructed. But what if there was an alternate, another Unimatrix? Like, what if that was just a smokescreen? And in reality, Seven was able to create another Unimatrix Zero and get the infected Borg to the new Unimatrix where they could kind of get acclimated and all that shit. Then in that process, she gets together with Hugh and goes, "Hey, these Borg want out of the collective. They want to be just like us. Why don't we try to make them like us?" And Hugh would be like, "Fuck yeah, I got me a cube. Let me talk to Starfleet. Blah 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 blah. Blah. Made a treaty. Got a hold of whatever. However, he commandeered a cube because Romulans somehow commandeered a fucking cube." Which that would have been interesting to see how they managed to commandeer a cube and do what the fuck they managed. But, whatever. Got a cube. You see how this whole process starts of like, the whole, we're going to take out all this and all this good shit. And then what would have been cool in that process is if like, Seven got a distress call and it was about E-Chip. And then she's got to fly back. And then we see that horrific shit, dude. That was just. You just don't do that. Star Trek, you just don't do that, man. I mean, I think the most epic violent scene that I've seen in Star Trek was like the Wrath of Khan when they put that that weird ass bug in Chekhov's ear, and it's like yeah, dude, that right there. I mean, that was the level of violence Star Trek I think went balls deep for. So uh, I just don't. I don't get whatever. So this whole Corona, everything's on hold temporarily. So I'm really hoping these dumbass fucking writers of Star Trek Picard get their shit together during this quarantine and go and rewatch their shit and go, you know what? We fucked up. And the fact that next season it's been confirmed that you're gonna have Whoopi Goldberg reprise her role as Guinan. How? I don't know. Michael Dorn has confirmed on the season finale on the set when he was on the set, not the season finale, he was on the set with LeVar Burton when it was they were filming the episode where Nepethe when they were on Riker's planet. He confirmed on that day he was on the set with LeVar Burton, and LeVar Burton confirmed that they are both coming back, reprising their roles as Lieutenant Worf and Geordi. How they're going to incorporate these guys, these heavy hitters right now. Because these heavy hitters getting ready to come back, dude. I mean, Guinan, I don't know how they're going to incorporate Guinan because, I mean, that whole relationship between Picard and Guinan was better. He's synthetic. The motherfucker, let's just be honest. The motherfucker is he's synthetic. So how is this even going to like incorporate Guinan and Picard having a heart to heart like they used to in 10 Forward? Like, how is that going to even be a fucking thing? I don't even know. And then you've got Geordi coming back, and then Picard's got to break the news like, hey, I done deactivated your boy permanently. No hard feelings. And he's going to look at him and be like, fuck you, old man. I should have been the one to pull the trigger on my boy. After all, Geordi is the one who helped him get the fucking emotion chip. And and then you fast forward to Star Trek Generations when he's got the emotion chip. And then you go to like what? Star Trek First Contact when he has an encounter with the Borg and he's telling the captain his sensations, which is awesome. And then like, John Luke looks at him, he's like, you need to deactivate that shit. And he's like, cool. And he does this whole little head jerk and he deactivates that shit. And he's like, all right, let's go. And then it's like that infamous line that Picard looks at Data and he's like, Data, there are times I envy you. It's like, yes, dude, because Data can turn on and off his emotions. Not like every human. Because right now, shit is not right now. Americans are losing their fucking minds right now. Everybody wants to go back to work. I'm one of the ones that is actually lucky enough to still be working, but I'm still going stir crazy at my job because there's only selective people at my job. I miss human interaction. I miss being able to go to GameStop and just browse at games. I miss going to the movies of all things. Sitting at AMC and AMC Prime so I can feel the badass and hear the badass surround sound around me with my popcorn and my drink and watch a really good movie in my little recliner chair, recline that shit back and enjoy the show. I miss that. I miss sports for crying out loud, man. Like, I feel like it was a bad breakup when this whole thing started. Like, first it started off with they kind of said, hey, here's how the Corona thing kind of broke it down for me a little bit. It was started off like, hey, we gotta talk, which was we're going to back up, we're gonna take away the NC2A tournament and the women's tournament. And then it was like, okay, it's not you, it's me. And then they're like, we're gonna shut down the NBA. And we're gonna shut down hockey. And then it's like, but I want you to know that I always care for you. And then went all the other sports. And now we're kind of sitting there with a thing of Haagen-Dazs, singing old love songs, going, I just miss it. Watching old vintage shit, which is very interesting to say. watching it on, a flat screen TV and watching how times have changed on TV. But I mean, hopefully, certain states they're slowly reopening. And then there's certain states that are closing more shit down like others. Like for instance, Iowa never shut the fuck down. Never shut down. And now all of a sudden Iowa and I don't even know how to pronounce what Iowans are all freaking out going, "Oh my god, we got all these cases. We don't understand why." Motherfuckers, you guys didn't even do the stay home. Your mayor and your governor stupid as shit. Going, "Oh well, we're just gonna ride it on out. We're not even gonna lock down our state. Y'all can just keep coming in and out." It's like, no. And then you've got every other state that has done this, who's now feeling the effects because we're tired. We're all ready to work. People that haven't been to work, I mean, I feel for y'all. I feel for y'all. I mean, I know you guys are waiting to get back to work because it's probably gonna feel like fucking Christmas morning when y'all were able to go back to work. I mean, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different in everybody's business, everybody's reign of professionalism, especially when it comes to the food. I mean, restaurants. This is gonna be a totally different ball game. It's gonna this whole coronavirus has changed the way we prep food, the way we even think twice about doing regular stuff that we would if it was just a regular day. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. Like airports are gonna have to change shit up. Again. Yeah, like sporting events. This is gonna be the big thing. It's like what are you all gonna do? Is it gonna be 50% capacity? Like what is it gonna be? Or are we just gonna have no fans and we're just gonna televise the shit out of it and have Tony Romo and whoever the fuck doing this thing with him? Don't know. Are we even gonna have sports this year? I mean, we're lucky that we got a Super Bowl and some basketball. It's like, are we not even gonna have a season? Is it gonna be 2021, 2022? This is gonna be insane. If I swear to God, if we're out of sports for a year, I'm probably gonna invent a new sport. I don't know. I don't know. But that is my rant. Like I've been literally like I had to get it off my chest because this is some crazy shit going on right now, and gotta get it out like everybody else. Going stir crazy. So like, share, subscribe to the video. I do have a live stream later on Rosetta's channel. We're doing a Star Trek panel. Topic is Star Trek Voyager. So I should kind of refresh my mind a little bit on like certain episodes and stuff. So I'm gonna end this, edit this, upload it. So I will catch y'all later.